What's going on, Moon Gang? I hope that you're having an amazing day, and I hope that you're crushing it in the market. I wanted to make this particular video because right now there is a heightened sense of volatility in the economy, in the stock market, and there's a lot of important headlines. So it's pretty easy to miss some of the major ones because there's so many other major ones. So in this one, I want to talk about a particular headline and a particular story, a narrative that maybe you missed out on because there's so much else going on. And I'm talking about what our politicians are currently doing with political insider trading. I know that's been a hot topic in this community for good reason, because why are we electing people who are abusing their position to simply line their own pocket? It seems ethically horrible and legally questionable. Well, we now have an update. Obviously, there's been a big public backlash against this. So finally, when they were checking out their poll numbers, they kind of realized that it's time to do something about it. And they did. But as you're about to find out, it's probably not exactly what you wanted. So with that being said, if you haven't already, if you enjoy this type of content, don't forget the like button, join up with the program by hitting the subscribe button. And now, let's rock. Nancy Pelosi's congressional stock trading ban has a massive blind trust loophole and is too broad, according to ethics experts, which is kind of funny because she and her husband, among many other politicians and their significant others, have been using their position, their insights to line their own pockets. And the backwards world that we live in, apparently they are allowed to create their own rules, I guess, for whatever reason. And even when they try to, grow a conscience, have some form of ethics and really self-govern, they even fumble that. But of course, why would they want to give up their opportunity to continually abuse their position? Ethics experts are already warning that the bill called the Combating Financial Conflicts of Interest in Government Act, I have a better idea. We could just call it, the acronym should just be scumbags, has a major flaw when it comes to blind trust. Experts at the Nonpartisan Project on Government Oversight zeroed in on a provision within the text that allows for the creation of blind trusts that do not comply with existing regulations currently outlined in the Ethics in Government Act, which the bill would amend. The bill would allow the creation of fake blind trusts. So, as always, there's just glaring loopholes. The problem with this bill is it creates a completely separate process that doesn't have any particular rules or requirements around it. You'd be able to create any kind of a trust you want to, put anything you want into it and call it a blind trust, even though there wouldn't actually be any way to prove that it is, in fact, a blind trust. So they literally are just creating rules, self-governing, and they're allowing themselves it's a huge, gaping loophole. It's insane. And I personally think that there's going to be other issues because thus far from what my understanding is, this is all about stocks. We know that they've been YOLOing options and futures. So what's going on there? This is all specifically about stock trading. So I want to know what's happening very much in the world of crypto, futures, and options. And this is one of those things that to me, it's grandstanding, it's showboating. It's not them trying to legitimately make a better system for themselves and their constituents and really just the people in America. They don't care about that. They're just, of course, reading the polls and trying to get reelected. So it is interesting now that we have a little bit of breaking news. Opposition has grown for the stock trading politician bill. Republicans have complained that they didn't have any role in drafting the measure and will vote no. Other Democrats have said that they haven't been given time to properly vet it. This is probably going to go to one of those things where they, in this particular case, it's Democrats, are going to say, well, we tried to stop it and Republicans voted no. And this is exactly the frustrating bullshit aspect of politics when, no, sometimes you vote no because even though it sounds good, we're all going to look at the fancy schmancy name and it's going to turn into one of these things of why would anyone be against Combating Financial Conflicts of Interest in Government Act? Look how bad they are. It sounds like the Republicans are voting no, and it even sounds like some Democrats are going to vote no because they weren't given the time to fully read the text. But right away, people look at the title of the bill And they just assume, well, you're kind of a piece of shit for voting no, even if they weren't given enough time, even if it has awful loopholes. And this is what politics has become. It's like, if we can come up with the right name, we can demonize people or really elevate other people onto a pedestal, whether they're voting yes or no. And to be specifically clear, this happens on both sides. I'm not saying it just only happens on one side. Left, right, it happens. They're all kind of scummy, but we're seeing it time and time again. And the truly frustrating part about it is they think that you and I, the people who are just kind of consuming this from the outside, think we're too stupid to notice what's going on. This is horrible. Why are they able to trade and then they're trying to self-govern and they're just doing this dumb shit and then they're going to demonize the other side, and then that's just going to increase general political polarization and make it worse and worse and worse. And then, of course, it's not going to get passed, so they're going to continue abusing their position anyway. So really, with all of these massive loopholes, the end result is it's not going to get passed. Political polarization gets worse, and they're still going to be doing alleged, just so I don't get sued, insider trading. That's where we're at. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. I would love a comment on this, because it's going to cause me to go to an early grave. It's going to cause me to rip my hair out. Like, these people, what an abuse across the board, left, right. Like, why can we just not get good moral people into the proper positions of power? Beyond frustrating, beyond frustrating.